welcome back to another episode.
Do you know what? I'm so used to saying hi guys.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Your Typical Tea. And this episode's going to be a rundown of 2020.
Part 1.
So, I'm Jordan.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Esther.
We want to thank you for the support, welcome you back, because this is our what episode is it? Our sixth. Our sixth episode.
6.
Wow.
2 weeks ago we were virtual because someone might have got the Rona but hasn't got the Rona.
Yeah. Basically.
So we were quarantining and we did it. We looked like Real Housewives, which I really liked. I really liked it. We looked like a Real Housewives reunion. Without the fighting and the cussing and
true. And the ball gowns.
And the ball gowns. But I just liked it. I liked it.
It's mad to have to do your makeup and be at home.
That's what this year's been like.
No.
It is, isn't it?
That is what
I think I've forgotten how to put on makeup.
You haven't, because it looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks. I wasn't fishing for a compliment.
Is that how we're doing it now? Wow.
No, but sometimes I'm just like, how do you draw eyebrows in again? How do you contour? Because usually you'd go out, before I was going out every weekend.
Yeah.
And doing a full beat. And I was going to say I barely wash my face, but I do wash my face. I do wash my face. I'll cut that out.
Gosh. I hope so. Okay. No, but it's hard getting back into the swing of things. And yeah. So today's episode is going to be different. Like, usually we do the wildest thing that has happened to us. But I think if we're doing a rundown about 2020, a lot of things have been happening.
I think we're all tired.
Mash up.
With a T.
Mash up.
And everyone's like, oh, can this year end? Like, I'm just ready for 2021.
No.
But I don't know if it's going to be any different.
I think everyone said this in 2019. We're like, yeah, 2020.
2020 was my year.
2020 came and then we thought.
I remember the prayer. I remember the prayer I prayed in 2019, New Year's Eve.
Really?
And I think God said, we'll save that for 2021.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
Yeah. That's pending. We'll pay that pending. It's been difficult. And I think now, heading towards Christmas, everyone's happy.
Because everyone's had such a crappy year that everyone's like, I'm going to enjoy Christmas, even if I don't enjoy Christmas.
By force.
Even me putting up my Christmas tree, I'm like...
Have you put it up?
It's like, is there in the box?
Are you putting a Christmas tree up?
Is there in the box?
No. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I just don't want to. I haven't had a Christmas tree for the last 3 years. And I'm a bit of a... no, I like Christmas. I like the day. I don't know. I think it's for the kids, isn't it?
Yeah. So, the beginning of the year, right?
The beginning of the year started 3 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. It started in 2016.
I'm sorry.
2020's been 3 years long.
Yeah, it
feels
like a whole 3 years.
Look at my face, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I just woke up, tired.
So what happened?
Is this yesterday's makeup?
Yesterday's makeup, today's lipstick.
When Forrest said lockdown is over, Jordan said, I'm already ready.
I'm ready.
I see there.
You gotta stay ready. Well, the first thing that happened, Corona.
Yeah.
Before Corona.
Kobe Bryant.
2020, January.
You know Corona started in like the end of December.
You're right.
It affected us from March.
Yeah.
But 2020, like the Corona, it was happening in the background. We were just...
Yeah, that's true. No one believed it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What virus? No.
So that happened. Anyway, I can't do that. Kobe
and his daughter.
That seems like ages ago.
And his daughter. And the oldest daughter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there was about 6 people.
Yes.
In that plane crash.
Yeah.
NBA superstar Kobe Bryant, 41 years of age, was killed in a helicopter crash earlier today just outside of Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. However, I couldn't completely miss the chance to take a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off.
That hit everyone like I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Because it literally forced everyone to stop and just... I think every single person, even if you are not a basketball fan, hit them really hard.
Because he was a legend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone knew his name. Everyone knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people, who were fans and not fans were just kind of like, what? And it was so, I mean, obviously, death is not ever, like, expected, or not often expected, but it was
just
so
random.
Expensive. And it was
random.
tragic.
Like,
Tragic
literally.
in the way that he and his daughter died, and all the other people on board of that helicopter.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. And I just remember thinking, okay, I heard the news and it was just Kobe, and I thought, okay, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And then I heard about the daughter, and I was like, what on earth? It was shocking.
But the first thing I thought was the wife.
The wife.
Yeah.
I was like, Kobe, like, so we knew, we were seeing the footage of that. But imagine the wife and wife and mother finding that out.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a lot, man.
Yeah.
And I remember even I had to stop taking in all of the Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
She had to put her, I think she started blocking people, or she put her thing on, or she put out a statement to say, look guys, I really appreciate it, but I need you guys to stop.
Yeah.
Because every time I go into social media, I'm seeing my dead husband.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was
Prayers to Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa and family.
Yeah.
Especially at this time of year without.
The first Christmas.
So.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So we had that happen pretty early on.
And Meghan and Harry, did they go around the same time?
Did they go? Did they leave? Did they get the boot? Did they get the boot?
Deported.
I'm happy they left. I'm happy. Deported. Deported.
No, people were angry. People were angry that these two grown people had made a decision to
honestly
migrate, and I'm like, why wouldn't they?
Am I happy that they left? I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it, to be honest.
Go on.
Ooh. I think.
Why are you looking like that? Go on. Yeah, go on.
Because Jordan was like,
go on. Let me hear.
No, do you know what it is? I'm glad they live in their own life, and I absolutely adore Harry. However, I think, I don't know, to me, I really like the monarchy, and I really like that England has this establishment that has gone on for centuries and centuries and centuries. And I just think, if it wasn't Meghan, would he have left? Would he have abandoned everything?
But you know what? I feel, for me, the way I see their relationship, I feel like the protocols that he had to go through in order to leave, the UK, and for him to kind of, have their titles removed, stuff like that, it's such a big thing. So the Queen doesn't have to listen to anyone. She doesn't have to say, oh, I agree, I disagree. And she actually gave her approval and she gave her blessing. But everybody else had a problem with it. So individuals are like, okay, it's Meghan's deal. But actually, Harry was born into royalty. He's still a royal by blood. That's not going to change. It's just the way people perceive him. And, you take a title where he's still a prince.
That's true.
He's still a prince, and he's married this woman who he obviously loves, and they obviously love each other. They've got a child. They just want to be kind of doing their own thing, living their own life, a different course for their children. And I think at some point in our lives, if we've been accustomed to a certain life, we want to see what it's like living something different.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.
Harry's always been different anyway. He was in the army, and so he's always been very different, and his path is different to William's, because William's is inevitable that he will become king one day, and so there's certain things that Harry can do actually, because he's not
he's a spare.
He's a spare.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Do you think the monarchy still holds weight?
I think to certain generations it does. So I think maybe our parents' generation, maybe our generation, because Harry and William are our age, but I think the generations below us and beneath us are, I don't know how much they are. I don't really know many young people that are into the monarchy. They don't really understand.
This is going to get so much slander, but Great Britain was once great on the backs of them like colonizing everybody. I don't think I would describe Great Britain as great now. I describe it as Britain, and I think the monarchy. I'll just link to that history of. But anyway, that's another episode. We're not going to go into that. Back to Harry and Meghan. I like the fact that they made their decision for what was best for them, best for their lives, and said, do you know what? this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like it or lump it.
Yeah.
And the press was like, well, if you don't like it, then leave. And they
They
said,
were
okay.
They
said,
were brutal.
They left.
the press. This is what I don't get. You're continually abusing somebody, and then when they say, actually, I'm not doing this. I'm going. You cussed them for leaving.
Yeah.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
I'm packing my things. You know.
No, of course.
Me, I should stay here to be abused by you.
No, definitely
Daily
not.
Mail.
This is why you'll never be with a prince.
Sorry,
Jordan.
Harry would love me. Harry would love me if he
And
met
the Queen
me.
would hate you.
Absolutely. Could you imagine me? See, they're lucky. Thing is, they're lucky they got Meghan. They're lucky it's Meghan, you know. Could you imagine me? Queenie! Hold on. I want to be invited to none of the events, no royal tradition, no nothing. That they wouldn't Mountbatten. My children wouldn't be Mountbattens. They'd be like, no, you can't. No, we're not doing
this.
this. So lucky they got Meghan, because I think Meghan has done a good job to handle
and she's handled
and
herself
navigate it
with
and navigate
such,
it.
you know, femininity and such.
Yeah.
Like, she has
Class.
Like, they slandered her,
Honestly.
and brutally
Brutally.
slandered her, and we know for some reasons why, and down to her race, her being mixed race.
Yes.
That was a big
Yes,
thing.
it
And I'm
was.
like, actually,
yes, it was.
you know what? They're grown adults. Leave them to
Honestly.
do what they're doing.
And Harry,
she's not the first mixed race royal.
No, she's
so
not.
let's
Who's the first mixed race royal?
Queen Charlotte.
Queen Charlotte.
Married to Crazy King.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah,
King.
so she's not the first, and she certainly may not
George.
be the last, because if the younger generation are
I'm
growing up
waiting for
with,
those grandkids.
yeah,
I want a dreadlock.
I want a
Wife.
Ghanaian.
Oh
I got, can you imagine
Rastafari.
Archie bringing home
You're
a
so
Ghanaian
silly.
wife?
You're so
Archie
silly.
May, you know what?
Pounded yam.
We've got royalty.
jam.
We've got royalty as well. We've got some beautiful royalty in Ghana.
Yeah.
We've got-
Yeah, Ghana's got royalty.
So imagine when royals meet royals. Yeah, it would be.
And we all
that'd
know
be
Harry
sick.
loves a bit of the continent.
Exactly.
We all know
a
Harry
bit
loves a bit of the continent.
a bit of the fufu. Yeah.
At the ceremonies, royal ceremonies. Yeah. You see, we know who Harry is. We really know.
I wonder if he looked at the colour range. He thought, okay, very dark will get me killed.
Yeah.
Very white. I'm not that into.
Yeah. So let me go for somewhere in the middle.
Let me go for somewhere in the
that
middle.
little bit of
Like,
you know,
like an acceptable. What
Yes.
he was.
What's the race thermometer?
like, if he was outrightly to marry a black female, where would she be? In the chapel.
Listen, let us be quiet, because me, I'm not trying to.
I was trying to lose my life.
I'm not trying to lose my life.
I'm trying to
Jordan
talk
on
about
the
this building,
wedding,
and then
What's that coming to America?
I would do that. She's my queen.
Anyway, I applaud them for making the decision.
Well done.
Sticking to it. And that relationship feels very much to me like that is a relationship like confirmed by God. Like they've been through things.
Yeah.
They've been through things and they're still there.
They just better work out.
They need to
They need to
but I
work
reckon
out.
they will
They can't
work.
break out. They can't break up.
It's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah.
I think she's not going to be with him forever.
I don't think
I
so
think
either.
she's
Why?
going to
Why?
give the very best that she can, and at some point she will
Bounce out.
find whatever fulfills her more than this relationship.
What makes you think this?
One thing that I will say is that she's an incredibly intelligent woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's fiercely ambitious.
Driven.
Yes, and so he needs to maintain that level of ambition alongside her. Otherwise
Yes.
she would do it regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
If she,
Yeah, with or without him.
yeah.
With
If
without
she
him.
feels like this position is holding her back, I don't see her staying.
But she didn't stay.
Exactly.
This is what she's
So
they left,
this is
but
a
they
trend.
left together.
Okay, so imagine this. Monarchy, it didn't fit her ambition and where she was trying to go. So they made a decision collectively as a couple to leave. What if it gets to the point where her ambition overrides what Harry can provide? Because like we said, she's a very ambitious woman.
He just needs to maintain his level of outspokenness and.
But I just don't see what would stop him from doing that.
Who do you think will be together longer? Harry and Meghan or William and Kate?
Oh.
William
and Kate are no.
I don't think they will. I think they're too
cannot.
British.
Yeah, they cannot anyway.
Because the difference between Harry is that he watched his mum. He watched a lot of things happen to his mum,
yeah.
and it almost gave him. It feels like it gave him PTSD or something.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
When it came to his wife, he went into protective mode.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
But William saw that as well. They observed that together.
And so
But I feel like it affects them in different ways. I feel like it affects them in different. I think just by seeing the interviews between the two of them, obviously it was incredibly difficult.
Harry said, "You killed my mama." Yeah. The tabloids, "You killed my mum."
Yeah. So Harry has been very vocal about it, and I think that he's very traumatized by that experience. And because, so you see the difference with William has Catherine, and Catherine hasn't been slandered by the media, whereas...
Who's Catherine?
Kate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whereas Meghan has, and he's probably seen patterns in terms of what the media have been doing and how she's felt. Imagine take away with all the cameras behind closed doors. Your wife comes to you and says, "Look, breaking down in tears. I can't do this. This is devastating. I feel sad.
It's too much.
I worry about our son. I worry about my safety." And he's thinking this is a repeat of history. So how can I avoid history repeating itself? I'm actually taking myself, my wife, and my son abroad.
Yes, absolutely. Which I think is the right decision. Like anybody is going to protect their family. Yeah. And I just couldn't believe you slandered them out of the royal family, and then you slander them when they leave. You told them to leave. You know, like the racists were like, "Yeah, my country," and then you go. Then where are you going? Are you what?
Absolutely.
Can you relax?
It's the truth.
All right.
It's the truth.
Yeah. So they left.
Yeah.
I rate them. I'm sorry. Fully rate them. Yeah. Chadwick Boseman.
That came later.
I'm still upset about that.
Yeah,
that's true. We've lost a lot of
a lot
of famous people this
year. That was really hard. Yeah, that was one where I sat down and I was like, I think what got me about Chadwick is that he had been sick for so long.
Yeah.
And it was the like silent suffering.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was so, and it just came out of nowhere. It was just like I was watching him in Black Panther, you know, on like Disney, and then he was dead. What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, his brother had cancer at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And when you see the brother, they are like copy and paste.
Are they?
They're so similar, but the brother beat his cancer. Yeah. His brother's actually a pastor.
Is he?
Yeah. But his brother. Imagine that. I don't even know what I would feel like if we both had cancer and I made it and you didn't.
Yeah. That's painful.
Who else? We lost Caroline Flack as well.
Yeah,
yes.
That was horrible.
Yeah. That was
really another media. The media need to hold themselves accountable for the things that they do and the impact they have on people's lives.
Yeah.
It's awful.
The thing is, what's hard though with that is it's like a discussion about, and then after she died, there was all this discussion about like who is using who more. So is it celebrities using the media? Is the media using celebrities? And it's this, and it works both ways. Yeah. So this is like almost this negotiation about if you live your life as a celebrity. So you utilize the tabloids
to a certain extent, yeah.
But then something goes wrong in your life, and the tabloids then jump on it. It's like who's feeding the beast? Do you know what I mean? It's really
the tabloids are mean.
They are. Because mean sells papers, and it gets when they post. I think they said that when they post positive stories,
it doesn't get any.
No, it's not, and it's human. That's human nature. Then you know that we want to see somebody suffer and at their worst. We want humans' behaviour wants to see that, and it feeds the tabloids and it feeds celebrity culture. And then you have Caroline.
Yeah, there was someone else like Love Island have seen a lot of their people commit suicide.
Yes,
and there's people that you on the outside you see as very confident.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dominic Cummings.
Dom told us
no.
DC told us to stay in our yards, and then drove 200 and 6 miles to Durham, was it?
Yeah.
Durham, and said that he was testing his eyesight. Are you right?
Yeah, you were testing it.
Are you?
So who was the one that had the affair? There was one.
What?
There was one.
That was not Dominic Cummings. Just make sure that we're very clear.
Sorry,
DC was not an affair that we know about.
There was one that said that we should stay home and not mix households. Yeah. If you're not living in the same household, don't go out to sleep.
Okay.
And then he got caught having an affair.
I remember who you're talking about. Yeah.
So you're telling people to stay in, and you're driving, you're out going to see your side chick. Do you know what? It's audacious.
Hold tight.
What I will say this year has been
audacious.
It's audacious.
And
yes,
what I've realised this year is every time we change rules, every time we do something different, or you've got to stay at home, you've got to do this, they do it within their own favour.
Yeah.
And furthermore, you're putting in rules that you yourself are not even keeping.
Yes.
It's one rule for you.
And one rule for the rest of us.
And I think that's why people have found it so hard to stick to the rules, because it doesn't feel like we're all in it together.
No,
it doesn't.
Ferguson.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Neil Ferguson, Professor Ferguson.
Professor Ferguson. Oh, and he was an advisor.
He was an advisor, yes.
You must stay in.
Yes.
So we must stay in, but you can be out at your psychic's house. It's all right.
The sex ban, he was...
In amongst the sex ban, he was doing sex.
Totally not banning.
He was doing sex.
Not banning, but doing something else similar to that word. I can't.
All of the fantastic citizens, all of us that have done a fantastic job with sticking with the rules.
That's right.
All of us.
All of us who have stuck to it.
Yeah.
Hard.
Who have struggled and suffered.
How long have we been in isolation?
6
months.
20 years.
It feels like my whole life.
20 years. Staying in my house, doing my 1 hour, my Bojo designated hour of exercise. I knew people were out.
There have been people that have lost their lives. So many people have lost their lives this year.
This year's been a tough year. It's been a very tough year.
What's made it tougher is the lack of toilet paper at one point.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I don't understand why people were doing such things, because how much tissue do you use? No.
Hair shops were doing deals behind
Yeah.
the back. So the shop front was closed.
Yeah.
But if you needed hair supply, just go around the back, and they were selling it from the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the shutters were down.
Yeah. Not that I was out there buying hair
How
stuff.
do you know that,
You weren't
Jess?
there. So you heard.
You heard,
I
yeah?
heard it through the grapevine.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
It looks nice, Cheryl.
That hair's been looking nice the whole time, I'd
really
say.
goes there.
The hair
Oh,
hasn't...
is that
They
why?
just look like they haven't suffered at all.
Not at all.
My edges have really grown back this year, you know.
Oh, really?
2020's been good to my hair.
Was you through the great...
Next.
Please come, we know who's singing.
Exactly.
What else has happened this year?
Bojo and his cousin Trump got COVID.
Okay, let's talk about Trump. First, he got impeached.
Yeah.
First, he got impeached.
This man, in the dictionary,
Yeah.
the word audacious, he should be in it.
With his orange face.
He should be there.
I think it's there.
So he's been impeached.
Yeah, he's
And
been
got
impeached
COVID.
and made it through the impeachment.
Yeah.
Made it through the impeachment.
Wasn't there
And COVID.
criminal proceedings happen at one point?
I thought there was actually, and I was like, what was
I
that?
think it started and then we just never heard of it again.
Yeah, I wonder.
Quietly went away.
It was in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. He had a sealed file
Ah, yes,
for
yes.
an almost identical allegation.
As Epstein. I didn't know that. Is it?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh, that's another one we could talk about. as well.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
But actually, there's
Careful what you're going to say, Jordan. Please, I beg. The thoughts of Jordan are not reflected on the podcast.
no, I'll park that. They may come back. It's been a mad year of Trump, and he got corona. He made it through. He got impeached.
He
Made it
laughed.
through,
He laughed at Biden for always wearing a mask,
and then got it.
and then I think less than 2 weeks later, he got it.
Yeah. But of course,
But trust him to spin it. Like he'll come and be like, "I beat corona. We're doing the best. Our numbers are the best."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you're...
we should start talking like that. I think I'm gonna start just
What,
saying
like
just saying like really positive statements with absolutely no factual basis.
Yeah.
Because it works,
That's easy
clearly.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, how are things? Everything's great.
No
Loyal
one's
to Democracy
dying.
is the most popular podcast in the world.
It's a bit...
Kanye had a breakdown this year in front
Kanye
of
had a
in front of
breakdown.
our faces.
Oh, Kanye. You
Your,
know what,
your
yeah.
friend Kanye's not
He
well.
got the best
He's not
gospel
well.
album this year. Which I
Did
thought-
he?
Yeah.
Oh.
For his Sunday
No, that
service
was pretty good.
stuff.
It was
Really?
good.
Was it
It
good?
was good. It was good. It was not because I'm biased, because I have like
Oh yeah,
my
you
list with
love.
Brian. Well, I always listen to all of Kanye's stuff, and I know some stuff is good, some stuff is, not so bad.
Gospel.
But it was good. It was impressive, actually.
His gospel, the whole gospel album.
The whole gospel album was impressive.
I think that doesn't surprise me. I don't listen to Kanye.
Yeah.
But I know, musically, like, he does his thing. Like, yeah, people say that he's a genius. Okay, but he does his thing, right?
Yeah, and he ran for president.
Oh,
please! I wonder. Do you think Kim voted for him?
No, she didn't.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can I vote for Kim? You're not supposed to be making votes. Calling people making votes.
When Biden won, she said we won.
Is it?
Did you see
the
the
cheek?
Did you see the post? I was.
What?
Did I talk to you about this?
I don't
No.
know.
Who did I speak to? Maybe it wasn't you. It wasn't you either. Biden won, and she was like, "Yes." Like, she tweeted, she was like, "Yes, we won." I thought your husband must be looking at you so sideways, up and down. But when you're married to Kanye, every day it must just be wild, and you would look at that and think, "You're not running my country."
Imagine Kanye running America. Imagine that.
I'm not trying to imagine it.
Oh, you wish.
Free easy, everyone.
Never. He would never do that.
Yeezys.
Everybody would just be wearing neutral colours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're only allowed to wear beige.
It's like
And we wouldn't be able
colours.
to distinguish who's homeless because
everyone will look
Everyone
the
look the same, and you have to listen to only Kanye's music. Can you imagine?
that wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. Oh my god.
Maybe.
Thank God. I'm just gonna say I hope he gets the help that he needs because he's not getting it with the current situation that he's in, aka the Kardashians. Okay.
I like him as an artist, and I fell in love with his music. But there's things everyone's saying so many things about Kanye and his mental health. But one thing I don't like about it is that actually, as a black male, he's not the only black rapper that's had mental health issues. Some of them are fully walking around with mental health issues. As soon as somebody says, "I've got bipolar," everybody hits back at Kanye. Kanye's this.
Has he actually come out and said he's got bipolar?
Yeah, he's been very open about it. And his journey.
I didn't know he.
What I'm saying is that I feel like with Kanye, yes, he does have mental health issues. Yes, he has admitted to his mental health issues. But I almost feel like somewhat people are using it against him.
Yeah,
so anything he does, it's like, okay, he's a crazy person. But actually, he is an individual who has a mental health condition. So why is it now that there's so many other individuals that are walking around that have mental health conditions and haven't vocalized it?
But I didn't think that people use it against him.
I feel like they are. I
think he's demonized not because he's got bipolar, but just because he says outlandish stuff. Like, he said that thing about his daughter.
But he always has been outlandish.
But that's the thing. He was outlandish, but he was outlandish in a way that, like, he was outlandish. Actually, we'll just say he was outlandish. But actually, what we see him do is become erratic. And erratic and outlandish are very different.
True.
They're very different.
Okay, but if we didn't know Kanye had a mental health issue, would we be saying that Kanye is...
But we would know after how he behaves when he's erratic.
But he's not the only one.
No, but I'm not saying... There's a few people that need to have assessments.
Because I feel like Kanye has said, "This is me, I have bipolar." What are the symptoms of bipolar? There's so many symptoms of somebody who has bipolar. Yeah. So for him, it's, he's going to go through, the manic stages and stuff like that. Yeah. And unfortunately, because he's a celebrity, it's out there. So things that he has said and things that he said has been, people scrutinise for things that he said. He hasn't always got it right. He's made mistakes. He's made errors. But actually, Kanye himself, I feel like he always tries to, in somewhat, rectify what he does and what he says, whereas other people are not other people are not rectifying damage that they've done. In fact, what they try to do is sugarcoat and pretend things that haven't happened. Kanye knows that he has bipolar, and it's almost like it's a part of him. So he's very, very proud of it. And sometimes a part of my bipolar for Kanye is I'm going to be outlandish. I'm erratic. I'm sorry, this is a part of who I am. But sometimes you also need the support of somebody to say, actually, Kanye, that was a bit outlandish. I was a bit offensive. Can you just draw it in? But who is around Kanye?
Well, this is what I was going to say.
We don't, unfortunately, mum's not around anymore. Yes, he has his wife and so on and so forth. But it's the support system around you. Who's going to challenge Kanye? Who's challenging Kanye when Kanye is a bit... Who is challenging Kanye? Because it impacts people. It impacts on his wife, impacts on the kids and stuff like that. But
who is helping him manage this? Who's helping him?
I think the difference with him and all the other people that might be going through whatever mental health issues they're going through is his one is so publicized. He can't even sneeze without it not being on the newspaper.
But it's so publicized because of how he presents when he's manic. And if we go back to thinking about like how the media, who's feeding the media, is it the celebrities, is it the media? If Kanye sits on Twitter like Trump, will be on Twitter talking about Kris Jenner is the devil. He said. He said, I think he said that Kris Jenner is like evil. I think. Don't quote me. But something about that. He spoke about his daughter not being aborted. He spoke about on Twitter, with your how many millions of how is it not going to create just an absolute stir?
That's the thing.
And so actually,
it can't. But the thing is, unfortunately, with mental health, it cannot be filtered.
No, but it can be managed.
It can be managed.
And with all the money that he has, all the money.
Who's going to control somebody who has bipolar? Everything that they do and say.
I'm not saying to control it, but there's ways that you manage bipolar. There's ways you can manage, because people live their lives with bipolar. People can live their lives with bipolar.
They do, but my thing is, when you see someone, and this is coming from personal experience, when you see somebody actually having their manic episodes, there's so little you can do.
I get that. I do get that.
You want to restrain, you want to take their phone off them, you want to do all that stuff, and sometimes with him, there's money there, so there could be a team of psychiatrists or anybody on support, on hand, but
on payroll.
When somebody like that is having his episodes, it's going to be incredibly difficult for the people around him. And I feel like him sending that thing on Twitter, actually, you are right in a way, because if he has somebody, if he's sending that stuff on Twitter and it doesn't just go out, for example, so there can be like I don't know what Twitter is. Can you send look
at us. We have our Instagram. We have our Instagram page. Yeah, we can all access our Instagram page, whatever. So if something happened and I could like message something wild, one of you can come on, remove that, or you could block that. Yeah. You're telling me with all the resources this man has,
do you know what it is as well? I think a lot of people deem his personality as that fine line between crazy and genius,
and that's why I think that's why he gets away with a lot of things.
He does, because he's such a genius. That people are almost a lot more forgiving. When he does these things, because they're just like, well, we know it's going to be a fire album. We know that's just how his out. Yeah, exactly.
He's having a breakdown. Could someone help him?
I don't know.
You don't think that they just let him not do his medication because that album's going to be fire?
No. I think it's a lot more complex than that. I think it's a lot more complex. We're talking about somebody who has not only just the mental health, but you're talking about the medication as well. And I feel like ultimately it's difficult to control somebody who's had, because ultimately we're talking about containment. And how are we going to contain? And how is he able to contain?
I don't think we are. That's not what I'm saying.
That's how I feel like it is. I feel like his mental health, he's going to... Okay, we're talking about him being a genius. Yes, Kanye is, in terms of his musical stuff. He's got his stuff that's going on for him personally, his mental health, everything like that. But ultimately, I feel like Kanye as a being, who is Kanye? Where has he gone? Why?
Yeah,
who is he now? Like, there's so much going on for him. And I feel like it's very complex.
I also think it's difficult to separate the two.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have...
But we don't want to separate the two. We want to... Because this is who he is. This is who Kanye is. And I'm not saying to separate the two, but I'm saying you can manage it. So you know, if you're experienced with your mental health and you are aware of the diagnosis that you have, and you've researched, about it, then you know what triggers you. Yeah. You know what's good for you, what's not good for you. You know what incidents might cause an episode. You know what will make you high, will make you low. So you're telling me at this big grown age that he's at, with the resources that he's at, they don't know the things that are going to make him, that are going to trigger or cause heightened emotion. There's not a psychiatrist on payroll to call up to say, come in.
Fame is the...
But that's not mental health. That's something... Do you see what I mean? Like, fame's something else.
No, fame is the thing that stops everybody from taking conservatorship.
Yes.
Of Kanye, because the reality is
he's too powerful
and he's too famous and his ideas are too good. So if they were to come in and do that, I risk stepping on his fame,
genius,
his infamy, his fame, and his money is the thing which bankrolls me.
I think it's really bad. And then to say that he's going to run for president, he could be the next president of America. What?
I'm upset for the people that... How many votes do you get?
Like 60,000 or something.
What buffoons.
Did you not see the video on, I think it was TikTok, and the boy said to his mum, like, oh, I voted for Kanye, and she cusses him. She cusses him. She's like, you wasted the vote. Like, because obviously, you know, it came down, so we had the election that happened this year. It came down to the wire, right?
Yeah.
So they're counting votes in states or whatever. You know, we were all waiting to find out what's going on. And he must have got in the car and he was like, yeah, I voted for Kanye. And she's driving, she's like, what? She's like, how could you do that? How could you wait? Like, she calls the granny. She's like, he wasted the vote. And I think it's the first year he did it. Like, he just turned 18 or whatever. She's like, you wasted the vote, you wasted it, you wasted it. And she's fuming. And I thought, do you know what? You're right, cuss him.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Cuss him. I personally would struggle if Kanye was in the White House without being managed. Come on.
Detonators.
Without being and I'm not saying contain. I feel like you're seeing me saying manage as us like restricting him. I don't think Kanye should be restricted. I think he just needs like support around, like almost like a safety plan. We need a plan for him.
Ultimately, this is and the problem with mental health is ultimately he is responsible. So if he refuses support and help, and has the resources but doesn't want to access the resources,
that's something else.
Going to be.
But do you think that he who said he came with his medication because he was putting on weight? Do you remember when he said that and he got lipo? He said he got lipo. Yeah. Do you, the first on TMZ when he did that, and he said he was getting fat, so he came off his medication and then he got lipo because he wanted to look good for us. He wanted to look good for. And I thought, this navigation between being a celebrity and him being mentally well is going to be very difficult.
It's going to be difficult. And I think for the average person who has any mental health conditions, and even bipolar particularly, which I'm aware of the medication does make you gain significant weight, it's a challenge.
But wouldn't you want your husband to be mentally well and fat rather than mentally unwell and skinny?
For me,
are you asking a question? What would you prefer?
For me, it's simple in that way, but for them,
therefore, I don't think you're getting the right guidance.
No,
you're not getting the right guidance. Because I want my husband to be fat and happy.
Yeah, but then it doesn't fit with
image.
The image they're trying to build, and it's difficult. And then you talk about your self-esteem and all sorts of
all of that, which he talks about.
I would say that I love that I do love the shift that he's made. And I think a lot of celebrities have started to do that. We're seeing that with Justin Bieber, Kanye. A lot of them have shifted and started talking about their love for Jesus. Even with Stormzy, like there's a new cohort of celebrities that are professing their love, that are including it in music. We know Kanye's Sunday service, and now Christianity is becoming a lot more mainstream. Yeah, that's one thing that I would say I really enjoy about Kanye.
Yeah, his journey, because Kanye from the beginning is like, you're fighting a battle. The devil doesn't want you in the light, so you're going to be constantly fighting a battle between what he's been accustomed to make his music, which I've always loved, and then when Kanye has transitioned from being, with the monster hits, and I know all of Kanye's albums.
I
know what when the album comes on.
Let's move the table. No, I'm joking.
Gossip. Everybody, woo! Don't make me start rapping because I'll start rapping for real. No, I will. Start we know. But I've seen the transition of him as a rapper, a genius, a mainstream rapper, if you want to call it that. And then when he started talking about, you're right, Shess, when he started talking about his love for God, Kanye, for me, he has been on this wonderful journey, and I think I've seen him like when he's talking about God and he's talking about how he was before and his music and how his music is now, and yes, he's still rapping, he's still outlandish, he's still that's Kanye, but ultimately he is drawing in somewhat people to God in a very unconventional way. Very unconventional way. And because I'm having my journey, I'm going through my journey in Christ. I'm like, actually, me and Kanye, we're going through something similar. When he spoke about, his realization when he became born again and everything like that, I resonated with it. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel that. And then because I've known his music, I'm like, oh wow, look at Kanye making pure. What rapper could say now they can make a pure gospel album? No swearing, none of that, just pure gospel, and still make money and still be at number one.
Didn't Snoop Dogg do a gospel album? I'm making that up. Did he?
I think he did. No, I'm going to have to go. I said, what rapper? But okay.
Well, I answered the question. I heard you when I raised you.
I know, just eat. I know.
Just eat.
I know there's that just eat advert, but
something say,
just eat.
Woo!
That's a gospel album.
No.
I thought that was a KFC advert. I feel like they don't respect Snoop anymore, you know?
No.
Because he always gets chicken adverts.
Do you know how much he got paid for that?
Listen. If I was Snoop, I would have done it too. I would have made a rap about tacos and fried chicken too. If you're offering me them coins.
Yeah. The chicken jobs.
No, I think you're right about Snoop Dogg, actually.
Pay him.
I think about 15 mil.
Oh, get out of here for chicken.
I will.
It's not chicken. Who is it? Who's the?
It's just
Deliveroo.
Eat.
It's
just
eat.
eat.
Just eat. Yeah, just eat.
Okay.
So I would.
Yeah.
For 15.
Snoop said, "What do I need to do? Let me write the rap now. Let me write the rap now." Yeah. 50 minutes.
He wrote it just before on the set. That was a freestyle. Yeah, that was a whole freestyle.
He turned out. He was like, Snoop Dogg.
Wait.
So I was like, yeah. Let me just. That's it. Half an hour.
Just to finish on Kanye, there was a girl that put this scripture up a couple of days ago. She's that funny English girl, and she does the Caribbean accent. Something news.
Oh, facing news.
She's so funny.
She is funny.
Hello, turn off the tap. We're not running a water park in here. Okay, Mom. Sure. Every minute this girl I lose teeth.
Follow her on Instagram.
So funny.
Yeah, I'll tag her.
She talked a lot about her struggle with her mental health and how she was really not confident. And she used humor as a way of masking it, and then it just through that's where she got her confidence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she said she was just talking about even now with her success, she still goes through her dips and I think she was actually recording the moments that she was having her lows.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she'll record when she's out of it, and yeah, so you really see. Wow. It was literally a couple of days. You saw the clips. She was explaining biblically what happens in her mental health. So it's Matthew 12:40-44. Then it says, "I will return to my house from which I came," the house being the body. And when it comes, it finds the house is empty, swept and put in order. That's basically saying, I've gotten rid of you, I've cleaned up my house, I've gotten right, I'm on the path that I need to be. Then the enemy goes and brings with it 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there, and the last state of that person is worse than the first. It's not, I'm out of it and that's it. I'm out of it, I've swept up my house, I've got rid of all the cobwebs, I'm on the right path. But you always have to remember the enemy's never going to be happy with that, because he always wants us in that place of darkness. So he'll come back stronger, and then that's where our faith has to come in to make sure that we're battling that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that just reminded me when we're speaking about Kanye, about that constant
battle.
Dip,
it's always
up,
going to be a
low,
battle.
down,
Yeah.
I'm good, I'm not good.
Yeah. Especially because he is a rapper, he is famous, he is struggling with mental health, and he's born again. So like now, relating to what you're saying with that, he's proclaimed openly as a famous rapper, I'm born again.
So that means the attacks are going to be even more, because now you're pulling your infamy and your pulling power is now for Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was talking to my friend, and I was saying like how much I love Stormzy. He was like, "What's your favourite Stormzy song?" I was like,
"I just love Stormzy."
Just him as a being.
Just love Stormzy. I think, I think if Stormzy, like if we met Stormzy, we'd love Stormzy.
Yeah.
Like there's certain people who I think if you meet them, you would just really like them. You get along with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, John Boyega, Stormzy.
Shout out
to John.
Yeah.
Shout out to John.
Let's be very clear. Jordan, what is it about John? Tell us. I know you're talking about Stormzy, but can we just need to, if you had 10 seconds to say something.
Yeah,
to John,
10 seconds.
Just look in the camera and
look
tell him
right
exactly
into the camera, into that.
What,
into
shoot my
his
shot?
eyes.
Yeah, John, go
shoot
for
your
it.
shot.
And we're supporting you all the way.
A love letter to John.
Hi, John. Dear John. Don't look at me like that. I don't think I would say. I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm nervous. But the reason why I do like John so much is because I think he is a handsome, well-rounded, God-fearing, gorgeous man. I think his spirit is beautiful. Like, I think it's lovely. I think he's the defender of black women. I think he's the defender of his family. I think his values are just a lot. He's been well home trained. Like, he's not training me. I should have been there. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but I should have been there. I feel like I used to work in Peckham. He like lives in Peckham. Like, we're connected. Yeah, but like we're connected. I think he's talented. I think he's just got a beautiful relationship with his mum and dad. Just all of the things that you would want in a husband.
Come on,
John. If you're single,
please.
We've got to find her dowry. We can reduce it.
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on. Sale. Yeah. Sale.
Black Friday.
Black Friday sale. We won't ask for 2 cal. We'll just ask for 1.
Oh, I love that.
John,
if we're hearing this, please.
African. Like, he's all the things. I think he's great. I just think he's great.
I love it.
Anyway, this is not a John
find
show.
a wife.
Yeah, it's
find
not
a husband for
we
John.
now
It's not
pronounce
shoot
you.
your shot. It's not your shoot your shot. But it's the same way with Stormzy. I think he's a great person.
Yeah,
so Stormzy came for Chips. I didn't know that there was this tension between them.
Okay.
Apparently, it's been around for like maybe a year, 2 years, where they did snipey comments, and I think Stormzy always refers to himself as the king of grime.
Okay.
And Chip, quite rightfully, because he's been around for a long time, basically didn't take well to it. So there's always been like tension between the two. Then what had happened was a video got released
Of Stormzy pulling up to the house.
Stormzy pulling up incognito, although his car was very not incognito.
No, it wasn't.
It looked like a Batman car. Turned up to Chip's house, trying to beef him, but apparently Chip wasn't there.
And it was so mad. It was just like, what? But the thing is, I mean, obviously that's not good. You shouldn't pull up to anyone's house. Like, you shouldn't intimidate them. You shouldn't be violent. All those things. But it's interesting to me because, again, maybe this is just because I like Stormzy, but I feel like Stormzy probably said, "I'm gonna pull up." They're like, "If you're bad, like if you're a bad man."
Oh my
and
days.
Pulled up.
But then what was very cheeky?
6'6" Stormzy. How tall is
he?
Stormzy?
6'6"?
He's really tall. He's definitely 6 footer. Stormzy and Little Chipmunk.
Do you know what?
What you call him? No, don't call him Little Chipmunk.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll take it back. But he's smaller. He's smaller in stature. Can we say that? I mean, also, you can remember who I am. Short men love me.
Thinking of the chipmunks. Oh, Lord. No, I can't.
But there would be a substantial height difference between the two.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are facts.
So...
I'm not putting up. No. Guess what? I'm not putting up or threatening anybody.
Wait, so am I cutting all of this bit out about Chipmunk?
No, don't cut it out.
We roll. We move. So Stormzy turns up. Yeah. Apparently Chipmunk isn't there. Strategically, a week later, this video comes out of
Chipmunk video.
No. The video of Stormzy turning up to the apartment.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
And then Chip was like, "Oh, you keep talking about God on your music, but look at you pulling up to people's houses." And then I swear, maybe like a week later, Chipmunk comes out with the
diss track.
It was more than a track. It was a music video. It had dancers. It had fire.
There was dancers.
It had a petrol station.
It wasn't a week. It was 3 months. That thing happened in
No,
May.
it happened 3 months, but he didn't release it. So that means he sat on it.
I don't think I knew that actually.
Yeah, it happened ages ago.
So there was all that hype just because you.
He strategically released a video of Stormzy coming to the flat
and
then used that as ammunition for his comeback, which I must admit
I don't think
was
I did anything
fire.
like that. Yeah, it was fire.
It was very good.
Yeah, and so everybody was like, well, what Stormzy going to do in response? And the thing is, so the people that I've spoken to who are grime connoisseurs, who get it, are very much like celebrates Chipmunk's like style, his vocab. So like he's a celebrated artist. I didn't know that. I quite like people like if it came down to the two of them, Chipmunk, like head to head, like nose to nose, Chipmunk would win, like lyrically.
Oh really?
Yeah. People like no, like he would win. Like this is something that
I feel like the old ladies talking about.
No, I think you're right. I don't really know much about Stormzy's music. I know a few tracks, but I know.
Well, in my day, he used to be Barry White.
Yeah.
Is that Beyonce still around? Is she still around? But then he released the petrol station video.
Okay, petrol station video, and there was fire in a petrol station.
No,
what kind of live?
Health and safety. Health and safety.
No, it was there was very separate.
Okay.
Fire and petrol station.
I was like, what?
But there was like you clearly planned this down.
Yeah, he didn't just turn up.
Strategic.
Yeah.
And then my love Stormzy said, "You're not on my level, so I'm not even gonna respond."
And hold on, dead silence. Aired it.
Dead silence.
Which I think sometimes
I think
is the
that's
best
genius.
Yeah,
I think that is genius.
Yeah, but people will obviously say, well, he knew that he couldn't like battle him.
No, but he battled Wiley, and Wiley's known as the Godfather.
Yeah, the Godfather. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Silence. But you know what my favourite tweet was? Where people were like, oh, like how can like you're a man of God? Like why are you pulling up to people's houses? And then someone tweeted like he was like, someone tweeted, Jehovah's Witnesses do it. What's the problem? And I honestly, I think that day I put the phone down and I said,
and they come in groups as well.
Someone said Jehovah's Witnesses do it. What's the problem?
Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you seen they tried a new strategy now? Because COVID, you can't be knocking at people's doors.
Oh,
they send the letters. Letter through the post was handwritten. I was like, oh, who's handwriting me a letter this time of year? I opened it. Jehovah's Witnesses now writing letters.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Did you get?
No, I didn't actually. They must have missed me.
Okay.
Pandemic. She's amazing. We can talk about her. I can't remember her name. I love her. Elsa. She's great. One good thing to come out of this lockdown.
Yes, and she recently won an award.
Yes, and got sponsored by Fenty. All the things. Give her all the things. Yeah. That's what she was like. Call me. She was like, Rihanna's my friend.
Do you know what is very funny? Is her hair is never done.
Her hair is never done. The glasses are never straight. She's chewing with her mouth open, and she's getting awards and sponsored by Fenty.
I wanted to meet up, but it's a pandemic. I would have let you come to my house, but pandemic. really wanted to see you, but pandemic.
I love her.
Wow.
She's all the energy that you need. Yeah. Talk about authentic self. It's Elsa.
Yeah. So we're going to do a part 2 because clearly we only got through 10% of our list. But I wanted to round off on one thing that you are grateful for this year, or one thing that God has seen you through, because it's known it's been a challenge.
Grateful for the fact I haven't lost anybody. I think God has covered and protected me and my loved ones this year. That is the main kind of like my thing that I'm grateful for. And I'm so thankful for that, because people have been through it this year. There's been a lot of death, there's been a lot of loss, there's been a lot of grief, and I'm so thankful that I haven't had to go through any of that.
What am I grateful for? Everything. My life, my children's lives, business opportunities, this platform to speak about God, sharing my own experiences with abuse, just the confidence that God has given me. Like, I feel like when people ask what is their purpose, I feel like I'm getting there. You know, God is kind of slowly showing me what my purpose is in life, and what, ultimately towards the end of the year, I'm fasting for the next 31 days. So, I'm fasting. Yeah, so with purpose, obviously, prayer, scripture, with sprinkle of scripture, but I'm just grateful. God has shown himself to me. Yeah. He's shown himself, and he's kept by his word. God hasn't failed me.
Do you know what? I think it's a similar thing. I think I have struggled this year. I think it's been a challenge. I think, especially with our family, we've experienced COVID-19 in our household. We've lost people. We've been close to losing people. But I think that God has used this year to really focus. He's used it to really focus me, and I think I've had to ask for forgiveness a lot of the time because I think the pressure has got too much that I think I've probably backed away from God. So I've had to ask for forgiveness a lot, but even in that backing away, he's still maneuvering me, and he's still putting me in positions, and he's still opening doors and almost like training, like it's a training ground. So even to do with work, even to do with all the things that I'm doing there.
You're still being grown. I'm
still being grown, and can just see the doors that he's opening. There's still a lot of work to do. Like, I'm always still a work in progress, but that's what I'm thankful for.
Amen.
And we didn't pray at the beginning.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
We didn't.
I was just about to say that.
All right, let's pray. So, guys, we're going to do this episode again because clearly we talk too much.
Part 2 is coming.
Like, add, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Not your typical tea. Not your typical tea. Add our Gmail or email us. Not your typical tea 3 at gmail.com, and we will be back in 2 weeks with part 2.
Yeah, awesome.
With the same clothes on, because we're going to carry on filming.
Thanks, guys.
Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for an awesome session. Thank you for speaking through us and allowing your presence to be felt this afternoon. Heavenly Father, we know that it's been a trying year, and we know a lot of people haven't made it. We know a lot of people have lost loved ones, but through it, you've kept us. And you've shielded us, so for that we're forever grateful. I pray for anyone that is going through any kind of struggle, any kind of loss, any kind of hurt, depression, whatever. We've spoken a lot about it this show. So I just pray that the peace of the Holy Spirit not only indwells them, but you show up in a big way to each and every one that is going through a dark period. And I thank you for the life of myself. I thank you for the life of Jordan. Thank you for the life of Esther and Nick. And Lady in the background. Thank you for showing up. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you later.